of maybe looking at just few pairs. I'm gonna look at. Oh, hello guys, hello. So this will be start of our session here. The first thing that we do, we're gonna be looking at our economic calendar for the week here. We have tomorrow Monday with Swiss franc, we have PMI month over month, and that will be at 2:30. We trade the New York session as well. We trade London session a lot, so Swiss franc will be key here tomorrow. And looking at 10 a.m., we'll be having PMI, ISM PMI, service PMI. That will be our only volatility for the day here for New York session. On then Tuesday, we have Swiss franc as well, Canadian, and this will be low impact news. New Zealand, I would be trading this, which means it's safe to say we don't have anything on Tuesday here. That will be trading unless this made impact news here. Then on Wednesday will be FOMC day. So during London session, we like to get a lot of seek and destroy profiles. So we'll have to be careful this day. Then we'll be looking exactly on Thursday. This day here, Thursday will be a large. So this is a day that I'll be looking to us to trade because we have a GDP. Monetary policy, UK at UK, and as well as unemployment claims. And then Friday, we have a governor Petty speaks, and we also have unemployment rate and unemployment change. So I feel like Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday will be those days that we actually want to trade. But tomorrow, we do have some volatility as well. So let's jump straight into our charts and look at this thing based on technical analysis. And I'm going to focus strictly on what? On ICT concepts. Down into monthly chart here. We've been talking about this for some time now, because I don't know for how long we had this low, average high, down into discount here, discount fair value gap here, we tap into it here. But what I want us to focus on this, let's remove this. This was during mentorship, by the way. I want us to focus on this picture here. What's happening here, right? We see we priced lower to the upside there, to the downside. We swept this low here, right? Taking out that sell side liquidity to the downside into deep down into this monthly fair value gap, right? And it seems like price rejected this level right here, so which means this here is showing us some sort of rejection in this case, so which means we cannot expect some sort of a bullish signs in this case, where to we'll break it down and see. But for now, I want to focus on this week only. What's our bias for this week? Right, so what is our bias for this week? My bias for this week is so simple, which means I'm gonna be, let's go down to weekly chart here, and we came down into this weekly favorite gap, monthly favorite gap here. Remember this? So last week, remember that last week we talked about this, that I'm bullish. Yes, I was bullish last week, and I remain bullish in this week again. So last week we had this previous week pushed down to the monthly favorite gap, got rejected of this level, and pushed higher here last week, which means we pushed it up into this weekly favorite gap here. However, I still believe we still have some more to the upside. Why? Because a few things that I use for when it comes to determining bias. What are those things? So what are those things? In this case, let's look at this candle, and this huge candle, right, pushed below this low, right? And the previous two candle here, it pushed below this candle here, but actually failed to close below it. This candle failed to close below it, indicating this candle was bullish, right? Okay, we got a bullish week, and again, after a bullish week, we had the previous week here, it pushed above the previous week's higher, indicating that, okay, this week we are also bullish. So this week here, I am bullish. I want to see higher prices as well. Higher prices were too possible to this fair value gap here, at least to the constant encroachment here. But if we close above it, I'll be bullish up until this weekly fair value gap here. So for this week, I'm bullish, and I'm going to be targeting this 100.78 key level. So I will see from here where price actually goes from this level. But for now, that will be our main objective or main target for this week. This constant encroachment of this weekly fair value gap. Let's move down into a daily chart here. We're looking at this thing now, still on GXY on a daily chart. We saw this was the low on the monthly chart. Remember this? We have a low, high, a low, high, lower low. We broke above this high here, giving us a failure swing. This was the low of the previous week's low. We don't need this. Let's look at this. We have a low, high, lower low. We push above and close above this down close, meaning this was actually a CISD or high probability order block. We push above it, tap down into it, and then we test it again here. Then price push over to the upside. So from here on, what do we see? We obviously see that, okay, this move to the upside, actually we left behind what? An error of inefficiency here. This will be what? The daily fair value gap. Came back down, tap into this fair value gap, as well as this bullish order block here. Let's mark it up. put on some proper lipsticks. We tap down into this daily fair value gap as well as this order block, so higher prices here. And this price action right here suggests looking at tomorrow on a Monday. Tomorrow I am bullish the dollar as well. How so? We look at Friday, Thursday, and Friday here. Friday push below, there's this low here, took out the lows into this fair value gap and order block as well, but failed to close below it. Actually got rejected to the upside, indicating that on tomorrow, I am simply expecting the market to open, maybe give us the manipulation to the upside, so it can rally to the upside. So I am bullish tomorrow, and I'm bullish the whole week as well. So this week, I will be bullish. I want to see higher prices here on the XY or the dollar. I want to see bullish dollar for this week, at least maybe to this 100 level. Let's go down to last time frame here. Gonna be the 4-hour chart. What do we have on a 4-hour chart? We have this low right here, right? Price move sideways with high, low, then finally push into the upside over there. What do we see in this case, in this range? We had this was high, we had a low here to high, then decline to the downside, chasing back down into this level. And on a 4-hour chart, you can all see, we can all agree here that we have this inversion fair value gap, right? Let's extend this into, we extend this to the right here. We have a chance this inversion fair value gap on the 4-hour chart. Then we push above it, meaning this right here after sweeping this low here on the 4-hour chart, right? We saw this low. This will be a sell side liquidity here. We swap this low here down into this inversion fair value gap as well as what? As well as the proportional block here. This will be the bullish order block as well here on a 4-hour chart, right? We tap into it, then displacement to the upside, we closed above this candle, meaning this right here is actually what? A CISD or a change in state of delivery, high probability order block. So I'm expecting the market to open, maybe push lower down to the CISD before it can rally to the upside. So tomorrow, guys, I am bullish. This week as well, I am bullish. So I am bullish on the dollar. So we'll see how this thing plays for this entire week. So let's go down to Euro USD here and see if we have maybe the same setups or what, and how we can take advantage of Euro USD on this week. So what do? We focus on USD, and let's start on the weekly chart as well here. We have enough time to let's just clean up everything here, guys. Yeah, no problem. No need. I don't need all of this thing. All of the things here. Let's go down to monthly chart, in this up to monthly chart. What you see here on the monthly chart, the most obvious thing here to focus, we have this high down to this low, right? And price turned back up right into premium, or maybe you want me to mark it up for you. This premium and discount in this case. And we traded up into what? Into premium of this range, right? We swept only this high as well as been swept here, which means in this case, buy side liquidity has been swept here on a monthly chart. And we also have this fair value gap here that we tested it again here, but I want to mark it up. We also swept this high here. So we swept this buy side liquidity, and seems like we're reaching that fair value gap. The same thing that's happening on GXY, right? So let's break it down on a weekly chart now. So from here on a weekly chart, let's look at this week here. We push right to the upside, right, and close to this level. And look at this week here. This was from Monday, 7 April, right? Price action push and inside bar. This week here pushed above this high here, but failed to close above it, indicating for those of you who trade CRT, which means this will be perfect if you're trading CRT, right? Looking for sell signals from here on. So which means that's going to be the case. But for me, I don't trade CRT. So what we see in this case, we also have this piece here by certain balances and efficiency. This will be our drawn liquidity for the week. Unlike GXY here, we didn't check into this fair value gap. That's good, because here I'm only aiming for, I want to see this, what the constant encroachment of this fair value gap here. That will be my draw on liquidity for the week. It's going to be 1258 or 1205. That should be the level for me where I am targeting for this week. So these signs right here all suggest what? That we are bearish this week, expecting a continuation of downside. One more thing that you can also add into what? To your bearishness, we have looked at last week here. Last week, push it higher and then lower to the previous week's low here, and actually closed below it, indicating that, okay, on this week, we should be anticipating what? A continuation to the downside. So this is the case here. We remain bearish here looking at Euro USD. Let's break it down on a daily chart now. And guys, if I am too fast, please let me know, okay? I know I can be very fast on a chart. So we're looking at this thing on a daily chart. What do we have? We have this high and low, up to a high, which swept liquidity here, and then we displace lower, we close below what? This up close candle that took liquidity, which meaning this is actually what? A change in state of delivery, or aka high probability order block. We push lower with the displacement, price turned back up into the CISD here, as well as this area of inefficiency, aka CB, sell side imbalance, buy side efficiency imbalance, or you can also create a fair value gap, right? let me just mark it up as a fair value gap. Tap into the fair value gap, then we displace lower to the downside here. This is it's interesting here. It's pushed lower into this level, we broke below this low, right? And we look at this thing again. We look at Friday. Friday open, push higher into what? Up into this week daily fair value gap as well here. Fair value gap. What else do we have? As well as this bearish order block as well here. This, but got rejected and failed to close above it, indicating that on this week or tomorrow I am bearish as well. It should be bearish, looking for lower prices. So if I sell this thing tomorrow, there is a strong liquidity today. It's gonna be this relative equal lows here. We are aiming for this equal lows tomorrow. So we'll be looking for sell signals only tomorrow, right? So we'll be looking for sell signals in this case. So we'll break it down and see. Let's go down for our chart here. I won't go lower time frame lower than this one because we don't really need, today we don't need all the lower time frames. We'll need them from tomorrow, right? So from look, this beautiful price action here, if you can see it, right? Look at this. We have this low, a high, a low, high over there. Sweep this highest liquidity into this rejection block here. Then we push lower. Again, the key here that I can use, I can focus on this one here. We had a CB. Close below it, use it as in, then price to turn back up down here, and then use it as what? As an inversion fair value gap, right? Price pusher here into this inversion fair value gap, then decline your downside after checking out this buy side liquidity here. So which means today expecting a continuation downside, and we have what? A clean draw on liquidity over here. So which means today, what are our expectations? We simply want to see prices push tomorrow down to this relative equal lows here. We remain bearish this week. Again, for this week, tomorrow I'm bearish, and the whole week I am bearish as well. I'll be anticipating maybe to get some sort of sell side liquidity. Right, that will be my idea here on Euro USD. Let's go to GBP USD here. GBP USD will be start on the monthly chart as well. Let's clean up about everything here, guys, today. There's a lot to talk about, guys, but there's a lot to talk about on this chart, guys. But then I want to focus on what really matters. So there's no need for me to talk about everything because especially when it comes to ICT concept, because there's a lot of stuff we can talk about, right? This has been heavily bullish here as well, just like other pairs. However, we swept this highs. This was formed in Monday, the 2nd of September, 2024. Okay, by side liquidity, you swept this high here. If you can see it, let me just zoom out for you. We swept this high over here, and this starts getting some sort of rejection over there, which means in this case, let's break it down on the weekly chart. Oh, it was last week actually that swept this high. Okay, very good. We swept this highs in this case and got rejection over there. So which means in this case we push above the previous week's high, but failed to close above it. We got rejection and close lower here, indicating this week we are bearish. And my draw on liquidity for this week, it will be what? It will be this weekly fair value gap here on GBP USD. No need to look at everything here. I don't really care about what's on the left. I'm focusing right here, because this is where the money is for this week. So if this is going to be my draw on liquidity for this week, how do I take advantage of this? Let's look at a daily chart here. On the daily chart, we have a cleanser chart now. We have this high, we have a low here, we have a high, and price push lower. I don't think price will try to sell the gap anytime soon, but what I want you to focus on is going to be this order block or this CISD here. We have this high, a low, high over there. We push lower, and we actually closed below this this change instead of delivery, right? Which means market right there, this was a change instead of delivery. And this candle, which is Friday, it opened and pushed hard to the change instead of delivery here, but failed to close up of it. It got rejected over there, which means also here we also have SMT. My bad, wrong tool there, guys. We also have SMT here with what? With Euro, USD, and DXY as well. Let me just go up. In this case, you can clearly see that Euro here on Friday, it took out this as high, but here on GU, it failed to do that. It was heavily bearish here. So which means today, I'm expecting price to push lower, this week, down to this weekly fair value gap, or even maybe the constant encroachment of this fair value gap as well. Here it's going to be what? 3190 level. But tomorrow, we have a very clean draw on liquidity here. So this low here will be what? Our draw on liquidity for tomorrow. So let's see how we can take advantage of it. However, guys, on lower time frames, we'll go to lower time frames tomorrow. Okay, so what we see in this case, in this chart, on the 4-hour chart, obviously order flow is bearish. We have a low, high, a low. Price turned back up into, in this case, to the rejection block here. And this was kind of choppy price action here on this 4-hour chart. Let's see if we can get something on hourly chart here. Okay, very good. Beautiful price action here, by the way. Again, in this case, don't forget we remain bearish. Price, we have this high down to slow. Price push high, counter with some whipsaw. It's looking destroy profile. Push back up into what? Into this. Let's make to the main threshold of this order block here. What is the 88 point doing here? Okay, we push back up into what the main threshold of this order block here after sweeping liquidity here. Then after that, we displace lower, leaving behind the fair value gap here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we opened here. This will be the fair value gap on our chart. Sorry, fair value gap, not inverted fair value gap. So I wouldn't mind if maybe we can open in this case, see, get some high price over there before we can start forming what some lower price. After all, the whole week we are bearish, and as just tomorrow we are bearish, we want to see lower price. So I'm gonna stop here on this hourly chart. Let's go to the last one here. Let's look at gold. I don't trade gold, guys. I actually all of my trades on gold, and normally I don't really have some good trades on gold. But because there are a lot of you that trade gold, and so in this case, we'll break it down for you as well. Nothing clean on the monthly chart here. Besides, here we still within this month. Oh, we are in a new month, right? Which means this is it's May. So let's start on the weekly chart here. Looking at the weekly chart, looking at gold here, we have nothing. Don't forget, guys, the gold has been heavily bullish. So in this case, we have, for those of you who trade CRT, this will be your CRT low here on the weekly chart, right? And you have CRT high, push above. This was a sweep, then to the downside in this case. But for me personally, let's see, I'm using based on my method. Looking at the previous week here, it pushed and close below the previous week's low here, indicating, okay, on this week, we are expecting a continuation to the downside. So if expecting a continuation to the downside here, which means we'll be aiming for this weekly fair value gap here. And if price closes below this fair value gap, which means the next drawn liquidity will be what will be this low over here. So let's go down to daily chart. We are bearish, don't forget, on gold. We push to the upside over there, then the displacement to the downside with a huge gap. Price turned back up into the gap here, filling the gap up and down into this bearish order block as well here. And it actually tapped into this bearish order block. Let's make it up here. Into the bearish order block, then finally displaced to the downside. So this was Friday, was the inside day here, which means expecting a continuation lower. So however, I would like to see if maybe price will return back. We'll check into this fair value gap first. We'll check the fair value gap, like maybe like getting an open up into the fair value gap before we can push low. I would like to see that, because if the price can retrace back up into this fair value gap, that will be presenting to us some really, really good trading opportunities for the week ahead. However, for the weekly bias, we are bearish. Daily bias, I'm not so sure because we have an inside buy here, so I'll wait for tomorrow and see what we get. Let's look at 4 hour chart, and that will be my last one. Okay, we do have something here as well. Okay, so we have this range high here down to this low. We have this high, so it's possible that price may give us a retracement higher, sweeping this high up into this bearish order block here, which is also in line with that, with the daily fair value gap. So after these levels right there, we'll be looking for that bearish move down into the weekly fair value gap over here. So guys, these are only 4 markets that I want to share with you today. There's no need to keep this on very long, so it's cool that we keep it short and simple. And yes, it's been recorded. I'm not so sure if I will upload it on YouTube or maybe send it to a group as well. So guys, for me, that's all for today. And don't forget, tomorrow exactly at 8:30 my time, that will be 02:30 Eastern Standard Time, we will be live. We're starting our daily live trading stream. For now, guys, I'm out. This is all from me today. See you on the next one. Cheers. I'm out.